YouTube? It's your boy Lonely Lone, and I'm back with another video. Today, we are going to ask the biggest question in the DMV right now. What happened to Gogo? The end of an era, the end of a tradition, the end of a culture that the youth now do not want to prolong. They don't want to continue it. Why is that? I was literally in the mall today with my little sister who's in Moco. She's, a freshman in college and shit. And I was like, man, y'all go any functions? Y'all like, and like, I remember even like do conversations. I'll ask her like, do y'all go listen to Gogo anymore? Do y'all go to Gogo, do any functions? She like, nah, we don't even know what Gogo really sounds like. We don't even listen. Like the only Gogo they know is Know Me, Know Me, Know Me, Know Me. Bro, that song came out 14 years ago, bro, when I was in high school, bro. There's no new go-go bands. There's no interest in going to see a go-go band. It's just people my age and older to their 40s and 50s and 60s still trying to do shows. But there's no young bands that's trying to do it. And it just dawned to me like, bruh, is this joint dead? The culture of the DMV that really is the voice of the DMV go-go music, that's really gone. And I'm over here having my nostalgia moments today, cranking New Impressions, Dream Team, Reaction, XIB, UEB. And I'm like, dang, bruh, this is all we wanted to listen to. Now nobody want to listen to it, bro. We couldn't go a day without cranking Gogo in the school. You put on Gogo, you ready to go to class. You ready to ride on the bus at 6 a.m. It was our caffeine for the mornings to get through school, bro. Literally, Gogo was the energizer for us to make it through school. Without Gogo, I don't know how I'd have made it through school. That joint was so dead in the morning, bro. Like, it's just kind of crazy that it's not here. That's how you learn your lingo. That's how you learn what's going on out there with the hoods and who beefing with who, what to look out for. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like hip-hop, bro. It was the news for the DMV. It was the voice of the DMV. So it's like, dang, what caused it? Why did this new generation stop? And that's what we're going to dive into today. So first, I'm going to get into why the DMV go-go scene was so important for at least my generation and before, like my parents' generations and so forth. Bro, first of all, that's the staple of the city, of the area. Listening to Gogo was like listening to your neighborhood, listening to the sounds of the street, listening to, you know what I'm saying? Like, you grow up in that culture. No ifs, ands, or buts. You grow up playing, like, bro, I remember going to church and going to band practice at church, the choir practice at church, playing a little bounce beat. Playing a little bounce beat on the drums. At like 8 to 10. You feel me? They teach me how to play the bounce beat. You know what I'm saying? Getting active. Boom. People beating their feet. You know what I'm saying? Just getting loose. And then going to the park. Going to the local parks in DC. You know what I'm saying? Having a function out in the park with the DC. Everybody having a fun time trying to beat their feet. You know what I'm saying? Just having fun. It gave a lightness to the city, bro. It gave a lightness to the area. So it's like, dang, like what? Where is that now? Like, bro, I'll give you a prime example. If you was in a suave type of mood and you about to get off the bus going to school, you might see a little cute joint. You been having your eyes open for a little week and you know what I'm saying? And you were like, dang, let me put on some New Impressions, man. Let me get my little bag. Let me get my suave mente. Let me know suave mente bag. You know what I'm saying? Get my little, when I'm about to go smack. You feel me? Let me get my feelings. Or if it's like a really chill day, like raining outside, you don't want too much commotion, none too hard. You know what I'm saying? You put on some New Impressions. This is what you cranking. This is what I'm cranking. Listen, Listen, you know how they say put party on, put P&D on, or Drake for the girls. Boy, you put New Impressions on in the DMV for the girls. It's lit. It's lit. You feel me? That is the Drake of the D. That was the Drake sounds of the DMV. Put some New Impressions. They had the best vocals in the area, hands down. I don't want to argue about it. Now, if you want a little Energizer Bunny in you, you want to get hyped up because you tired as a mug. You trying to get ready for get prepped up to go to school for your next class. You know what I'm saying? Or just wake up in the morning. You gonna put some Dream Team on. They had the best quality production in the area, bro. I don't care what anybody say. Dream Team had that crank, and they quality for some reason sounded like HQ, high quality. You can hear the drum crispiness every time that joint boom, boom, you can hear it. This is what you putting on in the morning to wake your ass up. Dream Team had that crank, boy. But you know who has that crank? Who is the bounce beat kings? Reaction. You play some Reaction, bro. You in the morning. This is when you in the morning on high alert. You know you might have heard some something going on. You gotta be on your toes. You gotta get in your thug thizzle mode. You know what I'm saying? You looking around trying to make sure you gotta put that reaction on when you fake on that. When you try to be when you try to be fake on that, you got hold up, let me put some reaction on. Let me get in that mood. You feel me? And you know you can't forget about the battle of the bands, the beefs. Waking up to see a new drop from the exclusive Gogo when they was dissing each other was like the Drake and Kendrick beef. No cap. In the area. When you saw XIB beefing with TCB, oh, my bad. When you saw Reaction beefing with TCB, you like, damn, what? The Bounce Beat Kings going at it. TCB saying they the Bounce Beat Kings. Reaction saying they the Bounce Beat Kings. What's going on, bro? They get to dissing each other in the songs, calling them all types of names, bro. Listen, bro, I'm telling you, bro, this was better than rap beef. You know what I'm saying? The infamous XIB cha. Let me see you cha. When XIB was beefing with ABM, it was critical. You hear me? It was critical. They was dissing like get off here. You said that. You know, we gotta listen to that. Response to shooter. Response to ABM. Hey, ABM, we tell them get down on lay down. Yo, this how he was when that joint drop. You hear they name drop. You like. You turn to academics. Like, bruh, it was a different energy back then, bruh. Like, I ain't go to the Go-Go's back then. Like, to the All-Star, to the CFE, to the La Pearl, like, to the DC Star. Like, I ain't go to all them joints. You know what I'm saying? I was too far out, bro. I was too far out. I was in Moco by then, bro. I was way too far out. But I used to go when I was younger. You know what I'm saying? Middle school, elementary school. I used to go to the park Go-Go's. But I ain't go to the joints when I was a teenager. But I used to go to the parties, bro. And the parties, bro, you go to the functions, bro, and they playing Go-Go, it gonna go two ways. Somebody gonna either get jumped or everybody gonna have a good ass time and get, you know what I'm saying? You gonna get some clappers, you know what I'm saying? Get you a number, But, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stories I knew about some of my homies. They made it out, but they made it out bruised up. You feel me? Like a banana. You feel me? Bruised up like a banana out that joint. Because they was beefing hard. They was beefing hard in that club. And especially if you getting stamped, your rivals getting stamped in the club and you in the club and you like, man, stamp me. Man, they was whooping people for stepping on a toe. You step on a shoe in the go-go, hi joking. Hi joking. Like you over. You know what I'm saying? But at least for the most part, they wasn't shooting. Like now, bro. You get jumped, you get beat up, you can leave, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it would be a group fight, like a hood fight. 20 to 15 to 10 to 15 other dudes, bro. And you can make it out. Now, obviously, they still had gunplay back then, but it wasn't as bad as now. You feel me? But anyway, it's just like what happened to the culture, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like that's no longer existing. And I have a few, theories of why it happened. You feel me? Like I think the gangster free call music, that rap took over. We talk about the Q the Fools, talk about the big flocks, the little dudes, and then you know what I'm saying? After that, bro, Fat Trail, Shy Glizzy, like after that, people seeing them go past the DMV, I think the outside influences like infiltrated our culture, bro. Cause we was stingy with ours, bro. We never really cared about the outside, what was going on outside states, what they was doing. We didn't really care about what the popular opinion was in music. We was strictly go-go. You know what I'm saying? So when these dudes decided to make it with the rap scene, you know what I'm saying? Like it lost the interest of the generation because they the new wave. They more popular than the go-go bands. Back in the day, everybody wanted to be in a go-go band. If like you understand, back in my era and in my sister's era before me, and my parents' era before her, everybody wanted to be a go-go head. Like they wanted to be in a go-go band. If you wasn't in a go-go band, you wasn't a celebrity to us. The celebrities was the people in the go-go band, bro. Those were the celebrities to us, bro. We didn't care about no Drake for real, but they was regular human beings to us. The people that we care about was Lil Chris, Space, you know what I'm saying? Spaceman. I can't think of all the names. I'm bad with the names. You feel me? Like Shooter, like all them dudes. That's who they. Being honest, that's who we looked up to. Trying to be bro. They were musicians. Here's the thing about the DMV that people don't understand. They were hood niggas, musicians, high tier musicians, and sometimes gangsters. Blended all in one. Think of an orchestra band with a little bit of hood in it. No, a lot of hood in it. That's the DMV. That was the most unique thing you could think of, bro. Who was doing battle of the bands like a marching band, like not a marching band, but like a school band, like a university band, bro. You having 5 different bands in one night line up for the show. Some of them dissing each other on stage. You know what I'm saying? Really, and then it was just an experience, bro, that you can't really explain like to a lot of people that die from here. So like, you gotta understand that is us. Gogo was the voice of the city. So when that left and we got influenced by the outsiders, it changed the whole culture for real. Like not the whole culture. We still have our slang, but like the imagery of like, bro, when you think of the DMV, you think of like you think of the go-go flicks. You know what I'm saying? You think of the bands. You know what I'm saying? You think of like what we was wearing, like the white tees with the skis. Like that's what you envision. You know what I'm saying? New Balances, phone pauses. When you think of the DMV, that's what I envision it because that was my era. But nowadays, bro, I can't. When I envision the DMV, like the new DMV for the youth now, I don't even know what they visualize because everybody like using outside slang now, calling the skis shiesties. You know what I'm saying? Using Chicago terms, New York terms, Atlanta terms like twin. Like it's like we used to be very selfish with ours. Now we just I mean, I guess it's good to share other black culture. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying we erased ours main point of our culture where everybody else kind of kept theirs. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying the free car music is the reason. Free car music was an evolution, obviously, but it's no diversity in it. Like, yeah, Gogo has his down points. Gogo had his toxic moments. Gogo had beefs. Gogo encouraged beefs and gangsterism. I ain't gonna lie, it did, bro. That's why niggas was beefing outside of the let out. That's why niggas was fighting. That's why niggas was shooting at the let out. But like, bro, it was a balance. You got new impressions. You know what I'm saying? You got CCB, you got Backyard, you got UCB that was really singing at vocals, that was doing it for the ladies, that was keeping it calm and cool and collective. It was a balance to it. You feel me? Then you had the hood band, then you had the gangster bands doing hood music, that gangster shit like Heavy Impact, Reaction. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes Dream Team. But it and on top of that, bro, like they wasn't dissing other hoods. Only some of them were. Like some of them was actually in hood though. Like ABM was in the hood, Reaction was in the hood. I forgot what they was banging, but like some of these niggas was banging. Like I ain't gonna lie, banging they hoods in they shit and was dissing niggas. But majority of the bands in this, they wasn't on that shit. They was stamping everybody, bro. They didn't give a fuck who was beefing. And the whole motive was y'all ain't fighting in the club. Y'all niggas ain't fighting in the club, bro. They was still fighting in the club, but they was like, bro, this is the time that this is a no fly zone. This is a green zone, bro. Chill. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like without the music, without this go-go scene, it got way more reckless with this free car stuff. Now they dissing out dead ops. We never was on that. Now we snitching on ourselves. We was on murder back then. If you don't know murder, do you look us? You can look up our terms. On murders means you ain't telling nothing. You ain't say nothing to nobody. Everybody follow or murder. Niggas was not going to jail like they are now. You feel me? So it's just different. And I think Gogo was a big reason that it was just a lot chiller. You know what I'm saying? So like who listens to Gogo now is the question. Because I think it's just my generation and up. Which is scary, bro. Cause after we get old, there's gonna be no more Gogo. Think about it, bro. If all the old bands that I listen to is still touring and they in their late 30s, early 40s, right? All the old bands that I used to listen to, they still going and doing local shows and sometimes going down to Carolina because Carolina got a big DMV presence. So they go down there sometimes. But what happens when they get 50, 60, bro? What happens in 20 years? What happens to Go-Go when these bands get old and they can't perform anymore? There's no innovation. There's no growth of a new innovative band to kind of add some elements. Why can't y'all put the rap scene in the Go-Go? They did it before. They did it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of rap songs like if y'all remember Mumbo Sauce. Welcome to DC. That was an innovation. We could have migrated into that form of Go-Go, kept it going, but they just let it go. You know what I'm saying? And that's the most disappointing part. Because this y'all youngins, this is y'all culture too, bro. This is everything y'all got, y'all slang. Bro, the Go-Go was like the news back then. That's how you learn stuff. That's how you learn. It was like hip hop. It is hip hop, but it was like hip hop for New Yorkers. Like they said, it was the news, talk about the poverty, talk about the culture, talk about what's going on, bro. That was Go-Go, bro. That was Go-Go. You knew what hoods that was beefing with what hoods to watch out for when you stepping into no fly zones, or if you from a certain area, you know where not to go and what to do and how to move. You know the lingos, the new lingos. You keeping up the new lingos, the new fashion. You know, going to the Go-Go's, seeing what the Go-Go bands was wearing. Like ABM started the ski mask in the area. ABM started the ski mask for the whole nation. I don't care what anybody. So Shooters started the ski mask, bro. All these people talking about Shicey, that joint came from the DMV, bro. Shooters was with Seat Pleasant. Came from PG County. You know what I'm saying? Put respect on his name. You feel me? So all of that was from Go-Go. So you can't take away Go-Go. That's the foundation of the DMV culture, like everything. We got an identity from that, bro. Cause you gotta understand the history of the DMV, DC, PG, bro. We were migrating from the South, free slaves during Reconstruction. We got some of us got land like Berry Farms for the free slaves to live there. We all from the South, so we all have accents of Southern culture in the beginning, and then when the late '70s, early '80s came around, we started getting our identity because everybody was from a different area. Everybody was either came from Detroit, the Midwest, came from the South. It was a whole bunch. It was it was transplants for Black people, so it was like nobody really had a culture, a DMV culture, because everybody was still repping what they wanted to rep. They from North Carolina, Detroit. You know what I'm saying? They already had their little culture already, they subculture. But when Gogo came in, when Chuck Brown came from North Carolina, when Chuck Brown created that Gogo sound, he was like, oh, we can stamp this. This is ours now. Now DC DMV has a culture. We have something to claim our own now. So that's the foundation of where it started, bro. Then came then came the styles. Then came the pictures at the Go-Go after the let out or before the let out. I mean before the show. The poses. You know what I'm saying? The slang in the Go-Go's, how it started. That migrated from different areas and we blended it in and created our own at the Go-Go's, at the function. You know what I'm saying? Then it migrated into dancing, how we would dance. Started beating our feet. You know what I'm saying? Our little chants, bro. And that's what we gotta remember. That Go-Go is the essence of us. We cannot let that go, bro. And like they tried though. There was one point we really tried. Like my generation tried to bring Go-Go back to the city, to bring it back to the life. They used it for civil activism for the city. There was a high crime rate 2019, bro. 2018 to 2019, bro. Right before COVID, man, the city was going crazy, bro. DC murder rate was crazy. Young kids, not even bro. Here's the thing, DC PG, the murder rate, the crime rate for adults went down, but it went skyrocketed up for the teenagers, for the kids. Them kids started going crazy, and I'm saying because it's free. I'm telling you that free call music that started 2016, 2017. They started going crazy, bro. They started really thinking they was on that no matter what. Like during that time, bro, the murder rate went up. So they was like, man, let's bring that go back, like feel good music back, calm everything down, and it did, bro. Mochella, they created Mochella. I think his name is Yadia, bro. He created Mochella with a couple of his men. But I was like, oh, I remember my generation. We was ecstatic. We was so happy that Gogo was coming back, bro. Cause they would do it right outside, like on U Street, or they'd do it, down at Howard or Florida Avenue. They did to stop the violence, but it was also another reason why Gogo, I think, started going down and not being as popular was gentrification. The transplants that was coming in, that was another demographic, and you know what I'm talking about. The W's that came in, try to claim it to be their city when they're the outsiders, they're the out of towners, and tried to silence the corner. If you know the corner, the Go-Go corner is Florida Avenue and 7th Street, right there near Howard, right down the street from Howard. And if you know anything, if you from the area, you know every time you pass Florida Avenue, you gonna hear that Go-Go corner. They blasting it through the speakers, baby. They blasting that Go-Go, and you know what's going on. That's the corner of the city. That's the staple of the city. And they come in here, the people that moved up down near Howard when they tried to gentrify it, tried to silence the corner. And we was like, man, hell no. We got. And the city banded together, bro. Said, hell no, stop that. And then also we gonna stop the violence. You gotta understand, DC is a place of activism. DC's always been on that. Back in the civil rights movement, we always been on that. Anytime there was some blacks, cause we the chocolates, the chocolate city. DC the chocolate city, bro. You know what I'm saying? So DC always been in that space where they are black activists. Ask anybody. Ask anybody that came here in the 70s and the 80s, bro. They said, ask them why they came here, why they wanted to live here and move from Detroit, move from Chicago, move from New York, move from the South. Oh man, that's because man, DC they was black. It was just black. Everything was black. Just black love, black activism, black community, black togetherness, bro. Why do you think PG County is all black and is one of the most prestige black counties with in wealth? Bro, you gotta think about it. People that grow up in PG seen all three stages, and it's all black people. Poverty, wealth, everything. Poverty, wealth, middle class. All three stages, all three classes, and they're all black people. Could you imagine being in a wealthy neighborhood like Bowie or Upper Marlboro or Cheltenham, being raised in that area, and you walk out the house, and instead of you living in the suburbs and it's you and another person is the only black people on the block, it's everybody on the block is black, but y'all all got the same income. Bro, this area is special, bro. That's what people gotta understand is we are when it comes to black culture, the most pinnacle part. So when it comes out to stepping up for our people, we gonna step up. That's why I love this area. So they stepped up. But then the man started hating on us. As you can see here, look. Coachella actually ended up suing Mochella. And I get it, it's a business thing. I don't think it's racial, obviously. But because Coachella sued Mochella, the DT protest movement for infringement for the music festival's trademark and lost, they basically had to come up with another name, but everybody knew it as Mochella. So if they try to come up with another name, it would be really hard to market. So I think they just stopped it. I don't know if they tried it. I think they tried to start something back up, but nobody knew what it was. Look, the disagreement has popped up several times in the past. Johnson said Washington agreed to stop using the name Mochella for music events. I have no problem pivoting to the name, he says. The Los Angeles-based music promotion giant owned by the Anschutz, I don't know how to say it, entertainment group state among their bill of particular shooting last summer at the Mochella event that they say tarnished their brand. I'm not going to stop using the name. It's a protest. And that a long live Gogo email sent early last month used the word Mochella. The city of protest appears to be a key to this action. The City Paper article discusses the impromptu events that Johnson gathered after a Metro PCS store in the DC was forced to stop playing Gogo on its outdoor speakers in 2019, triggering demonstrations. As y'all can see, Coachella, we always got to ruin something. And that's what people saying. Black people always got to ruin something. Because I honestly think Coachella wouldn't have made a problem out of it. They probably would have got him eventually. But I think once the shooting happened, because I remember I think that joint was downtown, near Chinatown. And Chinatown is near if you know anything about DC, Chinatown, DC is basically where all the tourists be at. And then, that's where the Wizards play, the Mystics play, the Capitals play. So it's tourist people, and there's a lot of transplants at the time too. It's people that moved from out of town to work for the government. So you can't be shooting around that joint. You feel me? So ignorant hood beefs. People don't know how to control their anger. People start shooting and ruining for everybody when it's supposed to be a stop the gun violence activism event, and they y'all got gun violence at the event. So that's what caused Coachella to sue him, and I ain't gonna lie, it stopped the movement. No more Mochella, no more activism for Gogo to stop the violence, no more activism to stop the silencing of Gogo, because they kept trying, bro. They kept trying at Howard, man. Them white people at Howard, bro, was annoying, bro. Anything that Howard had around them, which is a historically black college, by the way, anything that Howard was doing, or the residents that grew up there for years, you know what I'm saying, natives there, that anything they did that was traditional, cultural, they had a problem with, bro. Anything. There was one white dude had a nerve to say they need to move to campus if they have a problem with us having our dogs poop on their lawn. Slim, what? That's what I'm saying. The entitlement, white national entitlement, bro. And I think that was a big killer for Gogo as well. You know what I'm saying? We killed it ourselves with the shooting, but the push to silence Gogo, to silence our culture when y'all not from here, was the biggest issue. And now it's not popularized enough. Propaganda against it. The kids ain't seen it. The youth ain't seen it as much. If you ain't seen it as much, or it's not as interesting anymore because nobody's promoting it, you're gonna lose interest. You're gonna go with the most popular thing. So I ain't really blaming the kids, but I am blaming the kids. But at the same time, I'm not, because it was just stuff, political stuff that went to play that caused Gogo to be silenced for real. You know what I'm saying? So honestly, there's really three reasons why I think it's not popular anymore. One, I think the youth lost interest. Personally, stopped searching for it because of the free call music, the free call wave. Um, and the internet, bro. These kids lived on the internet. Lived on the internet. These kids lived through COVID, bro. When we was growing up, we was outside, bro. I was not on the internet. I was barely on Facebook, barely on MySpace. I was barely on Instagram. Instagram was new when I came out. Like we was posting pictures and getting off that joint. We wasn't hitting the people up on Twitter and Instagram, sliding in DMs. We wasn't doing that till college, bro. We was outside trying to go smack at the girls. We was outside trying to go to a function. We was outside trying to get active and have some community. We wanted to be outside with the people, bro. Socialize. You feel me? These kids don't want to do that. I be asking them like, dang, y'all, do y'all go to functions? Do y'all go to, like, what y'all do? They say they go to like stores and stuff. Target, Marshall. I'm like, damn. And I'm not trying to dig on them. I'm like, dang, I think this generation also lives online. I think that's just nationwide. And because they live online, they have no interest to even go to a show, go to a go-go. So it wouldn't even want to go see a live show anyway. Go to a go-go. That's all we was doing, was going out, going to functions, going to parties. You know what I'm saying? So, interacting, socializing. You know what I'm saying? Like they barely want to go to school events. You know what I'm saying? The most they want to do is go to the football games and basketball games, but that's it. They don't want to do nothing else. You know what I'm saying? And another thing is the gentrification. The gentrification of DC killed the culture. They tried to really silence us, and some of it was successful, even though people are still trying to speak out. You know what I'm saying? But they trying to change the city, and it's really because of the mayor. Let's keep it a buck. She ain't really doing nothing for DC and people around it. You feel me? To preserve the nature of it, and she from here. She from DC. And the lack of interest. The third reason really is the lack of interest in listening to Gogo. Period. If you bring up Gogo or play Gogo to a kid, they start frowning. They start looking. They sound like pots and pan music. The only ones that really like Gogo that I've seen that's like young is like my cousins in Southeast, cause you can't really escape it in the deep DC, like the trenches DC. Like you gonna hear Gogo, but like in the outskirts, you know what I'm saying, like Montgomery County, you know what I'm saying, they ain't listening to Gogo, bro. You know what I'm saying? Some parts of PG, they ain't listening to Gogo like that, bro. They rather listen to Slime Get 'em, you know what I'm saying, Nino Pay. And nothing wrong with I love Nino Pay, by the way. Nothing wrong with Nino Pay. He's my favorite artist right now. Who else be sliding? KP Skywalker, like all them dudes they rather listen to. But the reason why I made this video, cause I'm saying it again, Gogo is important, bro. It's the sound of our culture. It's the voice of our area, bro. And listening to Gogo, the drums, the bounce beat, the rhythm, the piano, the chords, the live instrumentation, it gives us some identity and connection to our roots. That's the whole premise of That's the whole premise of my argument or my explanation why we need it. It's our roots. You know what I'm saying? It's bringing us back. Just like, for instance, blues and rock and roll. You gotta understand, black people get silenced so much and go through so much that music is our only outlet. We were stripped from our identities at the shores of Africa, stripped of our identities on the land of the New World. of our tongue, our native tongue, our cultures, our traditions. The only thing we had was really music. You know what I'm saying? The music always kept us there. We always keep our music and dance and art forms that we had unconsciously. Sometimes we don't even know it connects. And that's why DC culture with Gogo is so important, because that is what connects us to our roots. Just like how blues did, just like how rock and roll did, just like how hip hop did. You know what I'm saying? It's freedom of expression, black expression to deal with pain and traumas, and to really conceptualize, make sense of the conditions we in, poverty-stricken conditions we in, lack of inclusion of other communities and other majorities that doesn't want us here, but brought us here. We are cut off from the outside world, and we have to create our own world, and that's Gogo, that's DC, that's DMV culture. You know what I'm saying? And it's heavily, especially when our area is heavily influenced with politics and government. They don't want nothing to do with black people around here. We walk down Capitol Hill, they look at us like something different. They call Metropolitan Police. You walk down Capitol Hill, which used to be black by the way. You walk down, I'm trying to think of an area right now. Shoot, you walk down, you know what I'm saying, Colorado Avenue, Colorado Heights, Tinley Town, Georgetown. They walk right past you like you invisible. You start speaking in slang, they look at you like a foreign object, like you a foreigner, like you an immigrant. You know what I'm saying? And that hurts, bro. I ain't gonna lie. You feel unseen, bro. That's why freedom of expression helps us express that, gives us our own identities without validation from the outsiders, even in our own area, even the government that don't listen to us. We right behind it. We right neighbors with the federal government, and they don't listen to it. They don't care at all. They can literally walk out their house, right? Walk out of the Capitol, go down the street. Literally, if you know where the Capitol is, and you take the right, go past Union Station, there's a hood right there. They literally can walk to that hood and see the conditions of America, but they choose not to and don't care. They don't care about hearing us. And we've been saying that for years though in this area. So that's why we need this for activism, for identity. And you gotta understand, when Gogo was most popular, there was killings. I ain't gonna lie, there was killings, but it wasn't like how it is now. Gogo was a peacemaker in some, like the most Gogo, the majority of Gogos was fights, keeping it above. There was shootings, but it wasn't, bro. First of all, not everybody even had a gun back then. That's first of all, and nobody was even interested in guns. We wrecking was like when you was wrecking, you was a man on man time. When you was able to wreck for real, without the gunplay, you was that man. When you was able to wreck and win, you was respected like anywhere. If you can really put that pain in with these, you feel me? You was way more respected. Now when you killing, there's no respect at all. And without Gogo, I think that's one of the reasons. Gogo, when you was in the Gogo, it was somewhat peaceful. And then afterwards, you know, y'all got it in. But in the Gogos, they was like, bro, we shouting out every hood. On top of that, we had different bands that was giving, you know what I'm saying, different flavors of different emotions, you know, sensual emotions, you know, expressing pains about living in the hood. They had songs about being in poverty and being in the hood. You know what I'm saying? You can be expressive on some raw wave stuff. You feel me? So you gotta understand, from an empirical observation, Gogo was a lifesaver to us back then, bro. Got us through school, got us through hard times. You know what I'm saying? That rhythm of that drum was a form of expression for pain. You know what I'm saying? Even though it had toxic moments like any other culture does, it doesn't mean that it was bad. Cause we humans at the end of the day. We gonna have toxic culture. We gonna have toxic traits that bleed into the culture. You feel me? But it helped us release anger, frustrations. You know what I'm saying? Listening to that Go-Go, getting it out, getting off our chest, getting off our mind instead of acting on it. And I just honestly, that free car gangster music, bro, is not it, bro. It sound good, but bro, it's toxic as fuck. It doesn't allow a space of any growth. just straight negativity. It's only dissing, promoting gun violence, illegal activity. And Gogo had that too, but it was more diverse. And it was sonically sound and sonically healed us. Live drums, live instrumentation. You know what I'm saying? And it was really positive because it was shouting you out. You was trying to get stamped in it. You felt good being seen, bro. That's what it was. At the Go-Go's, when nobody else saw you, they saw you, bro. They saw your hood. They shouted you out. And then you would be heard across the whole area. All the way from Virginia, all the way up, all the way from Virginia, all the way up to the highest part of Moco. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, I'm thankful for y'all to be here and me sharing this culture. I'm passionate about this stuff, you know what I'm saying? Especially black culture, especially my culture when this is my backyard. Thank y'all for staying here if y'all stayed long enough. Make sure y'all turn on that bell notification, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know down below in the comments your favorite memory of the Go-Go eras, bro. Any era, any time period. Tell me your favorite song. Tell me your favorite situation. Tell me a story time. Anything. I would love to hear it, bro. It's your boy Lonely Lone. I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace.